Purpose over feelings. That's where the real power lives. Most people move when they feel like it. They go to the gym when they're motivated. They chase their dreams when it's convenient. But those who win in life, those who become unstoppable, don't move off emotion, they move off purpose. Purpose doesn't care how you feel. Purpose only cares that you finish what you started. You see, feelings come and go, but purpose stays. Feelings are temporary, but purpose is eternal. When you live by feelings, you'll start and stop 100 times because emotions shift every single day. But when you live by purpose, you become consistent, you become disciplined, and you become powerful beyond measure. Every morning when that alarm clock goes off, you've got two choices. Hit snooze and go back to your feelings, or get up and chase your purpose. And that's where most people lose. They let comfort win. They let the voice inside that says, I'm tired, or I don't feel like it, dictate their future. But unstoppable people, the ones who change their lives, they've learned to silence that voice. They understand that feelings are liars. Your feelings will tell you to quit right before the breakthrough. Your feelings will tell you to rest when you should rise. Your feelings will convince you that you can't do it when your purpose already decided you could. You've got to train your mind to obey your purpose, not your emotions. When you operate on purpose, you start to see everything differently. You stop asking for easy. You stop looking for shortcuts. You stop chasing what feels good, and you start chasing what's right. Purpose gives pain a meaning. When you're tired, purpose says, so keep going. When it hurts, purpose says, a push through. When you're alone, purpose says, this is the process. And that's when you discover your strength. That's when you realize your mind was built to lead, not follow your emotion. People who live by purpose don't need to be motivated every day. Their mission motivates them. Think about a soldier on the battlefield. He's not there because it feels good. He's there because of purpose. Because something bigger than himself drives him forward. The same principle applies to life. You can't let your feelings be your general. You can't let your emotions be your boss. You've got to take control of your mind and lead yourself with purpose. The person who leads with feelings will always be inconsistent. But the one who leads with purpose will always find a way. Every success story you've ever heard is built on people who didn't feel like it, but did it anyway. They worked when nobody was watching. They trained when no one clapped. They showed up when the results didn't come. They kept the promise to themselves when it was easier to walk away. That's purpose. That's what separates the winners from the quitters. You've got to get to a place where you say, I'm not doing this because I feel good about it. I'm doing this because I said I would. You've got to stop letting your emotions write the story of your life. When you start walking in purpose, everything changes. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop complaining. And you stop making excuses. Because you realize it's not about what's happening around you. It's about what's happening inside you. Purpose gives you direction when the road is unclear. It gives you stability when the world shakes. It keeps you standing when others fall. Feelings make you unstable, but purpose makes you unshakable. That's the secret. Purpose turns chaos into clarity and struggle into strength. You have to learn how to operate even when you're empty. There will be days when you don't see results, when your energy is gone, when people you trusted walk away. But your purpose, that's your anchor. That's the reason you get up again. When you remember your why, you'll always find your how, because purpose fuels persistence. It's what keeps the fire burning long after the emotions fade. And let me tell you something, emotions will fade. The excitement will wear off. The crowd will stop cheering. That's when purpose steps in. That's when your character is tested. That's when you discover who you really are. People think greatness is about talent, but it's not. It's about endurance. It's about showing up not once, not twice, but every single day, whether you feel like it or not. The greatest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, the most disciplined people, they all have one thing in common. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on consistency. They rely on purpose. They wake up tired, they train anyway. They fail, they learn, they hurt, they heal. But they don't stop, because their vision is bigger than their emotion. So what drives you? What's that thing inside you that keeps you up at night, that makes your heart race? That pushes you to keep going even when no one believes in you? Boom! Discipline is the foundation of everything great you will ever build. It's the bridge between goals and achievements, between potential and power. Motivation might start you off, but discipline keeps you going when that motivation dies, and it will die. Every person who's ever achieved greatness has had moments when they didn't want to keep going, when they were tired, broken, or uninspired. But discipline said, do it anyway. That's what makes the unstoppable mindset so rare. It's built not on how you feel, but on what you've committed to doing, no matter what. When you rely on motivation, you'll always be inconsistent because motivation is a feeling. It's like the wind. It comes and goes. Sometimes it's strong. Sometimes it's gone completely. But discipline is like gravity. It never changes. It's the constant pull that keeps you grounded when everything else is unstable. Discipline says, I made a promise to myself and I will not break it. It's showing up when the excitement fades, pushing through when nobody notices, and grinding when the results aren't visible yet. Discipline means you made peace with the idea that success will demand more than comfort, and you're okay with that. There are going to be days when you don't feel strong, when your mind is tired and your body doesn't cooperate. That's when discipline becomes your best friend. Discipline doesn't ask for permission from your emotions. It takes control. It says, oh, we're doing this because we said we would. That's the power of discipline. It silences excuses. The lazy part of you, the doubtful part of you, the part that wants to rest and delay. Discipline shuts it down. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It cares that you finish. It's what separates thought from those who achieve. Think about it. Every successful athlete, every master of their craft, every leader who changed the world, they all have discipline as their core. It's not talent alone that gets them there. It's their willingness to do what others refuse to do. They wake up early when others sleep in. They practice when others relax. They sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term greatness. Discipline doesn't give you results overnight, but it guarantees progress over time. You may not see the difference today or tomorrow, but months and years from now, that consistency will separate you from the crowd. When you're disciplined, you don't need anyone to remind you of your goals. You don't need a coach yelling at you to move. You don't need motivation videos to get started. You are self-driven because discipline builds character. It's not about doing something once. It's about doing it every single day. It's about developing a system that keeps you locked in even when you don't want to be. People who rely on motivation always wait for the right mood or the right conditions. But the disciplined person creates their own momentum. They don't wait for perfect timing. They create it by being consistent. Discipline also teaches humility. It reminds you that success is not a single moment. It's the accumulation of small, repetitive actions done well. You might not feel like you're growing, but discipline ensures that you are. Each day you show up when you don't want to. You're strengthening your mind. You're proving to yourself that you can be trusted. That's one of the greatest forms of power, being able to rely on yourself. When you know you'll show up no matter what, your confidence becomes unshakable. That's the quiet power of discipline. It doesn't shout, it proves. There's something sacred about being disciplined when no one's watching, when the crowd is gone, when the applause fades, and it's just you and your goals. That's where champions are made. Discipline is built in silence, not in spotlight. It's built in those early mornings when you could sleep, in those late nights when you could rest, in those moments when you push yourself just one more time. It's not glamorous, but it's powerful because every act of discipline is a vote for the person you want to become. Most people fail not because they're not capable, but because they lack consistency. They start strong, but stop when it gets uncomfortable. They let temporary emotions destroy permanent dreams. But the disciplined understand that emotions are short-lived, and the mission is forever. They remind themselves that pain is temporary, but pride lasts forever. Every time you show up despite fatigue, you're building a habit of resilience. That habit becomes your identity. You stop saying, I'll try, and start saying, I choose. You stop chasing motivation and start becoming the kind of person who moves regardless of how they feel. Discipline gives you freedom. It might sound like the opposite, but it's true. When you're disciplined, you gain control over your life. You're no longer a slave to laziness, distractions, or comfort. Embrace the struggle. That's the heartbeat of every unstoppable person. Too many people spend their lives trying to escape pain, avoiding difficulty, and running from discomfort. But the truth is, the very thing you're trying to avoid is the thing that's trying to make you stronger. Growth never comes from what's easy. It comes from what challenges you, what breaks you down, and forces you to rebuild stronger than before. The struggle is not a punishment. It's preparation. It's the process that shapes your mind, your character, and your spirit. If you can learn to embrace the struggle instead of running from it, you'll discover a version of yourself you didn't even know existed. Every dream worth chasing comes with resistance. Every mountain worth climbing has its storms. But people give up too early because they mistake struggle for failure. They think difficulty means something's wrong, when in reality, it means they're getting closer. The struggle is proof that you're in motion, that you're growing, that you're moving towards something greater. Nobody becomes strong by avoiding weight. You get stronger by carrying it. You build muscle by lifting heavy things. And the same goes for your mindset. The heavier the pressure, the stronger you become if you don't quit. When you embrace the struggle, you start to understand that pain has a purpose. Pain is your greatest teacher. It's the tool life uses to shape you, to humble you, to focus you. Most people pray for an easier life, but unstoppable people pray for the strength to handle the hard one because they know the struggle refines them. Every time you go through something difficult, you learn something about yourself. You learn how much you can endure. You learn how deep your resilience goes. You learn how to fight when you're tired, how to focus when you're overwhelmed, and how to believe when everything around you tells you not to. The problem is most people let the struggle break them instead of build them. They complain, they quit. But the unstoppable mind says this pain is temporary, but the strength it builds is forever. You gotta shift your perspective. Stop asking why me and start asking what is this teaching me? Because every storm carries a lesson. Every setback carries wisdom. Every closed door is redirecting you towards something greater. Struggle isn't your enemy. It's your training ground. It's where you earn your stripes. Think about how a diamond is made. It's just carbon under extreme pressure and heat. The same element that makes up coal becomes something priceless because of the process it goes through. You are no different. You're not meant to stay the same. You're meant to evolve through struggle. The pressure you feel isn't there to destroy you. It's there to reveal you. It's showing you what you're made of. When you stop fearing the struggle, you stop limiting yourself. You begin to walk boldly through challenges knowing every obstacle is developing something powerful within you. The world wants comfort, but greatness lives in discomfort. You can't become extraordinary doing ordinary things. You can't build toughness in soft environments. You can't discover courage if you never face fear. The unstoppable mindset is built on the willingness to suffer now so you can shine. You have to learn to find peace in the pain, to find motivation in the mess. The moment you stop seeing struggle as punishment and start seeing it as progress, everything changes. You stop resisting life and start growing through it. Every time you face a challenge, you have two choices: break down or break through. The difference lies in your mindset. If they believe the struggle is too much for you, it will defeat you. But if you believe it's building you, it will empower you. When you embrace the struggle, you take control. You stop letting circumstances dictate your emotions. You start saying, this may be tough, but I'm tough. That's the kind of mindset that turns pain into power. Most people only see the success story, not the struggle behind it. They see the results, not the repetition, the glory, not the grind. But behind every success is a story of someone who refused to give up when it got hard. Someone who cried, who failed, who stumbled but never stopped. They didn't wait for easy. They built endurance in the hard. That's what embracing the struggle does. It teaches you endurance. It teaches you how to keep going when you don't have the strength. It teaches you that the pain of discipline and growth will always be lighter than the pain of regret. You can't grow if you always choose the path of least resistance. The strongest trees grow in the harshest winds. The most powerful leaders emerge from the darkest battles. Every trial is an opportunity to become better, sharper, wiser. When you look back on your life, you'll realize the moments that changed you the most were the moments that hurt the most. Refuse to quit. That's the mindset that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Anyone can start something, but only the few who refuse to quit ever finish what they began. Most people stop when things get uncomfortable, when the results don't show up fast enough, or when the journey starts to feel lonely. But the unstoppable ones, the people who truly rise, they understand that quitting is not an option. They know that success doesn't come to the most talented or the most gifted, it comes to the most committed. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep going when everyone else stops. Life will test you. It will push you to the edge. It will whisper in your ear that it's too hard, that you've done enough, that maybe it's not meant to be. But those are the moments that define you. Those are the moments where you decide who you are and what you stand for, you all can stand for. When you refuse to quit, you build something deeper than skill. You build resilience. You build character. You build the kind of strength that can't be taught, only earned through endurance. Quitting might bring temporary relief, but persistence brings permanent power. Every person you admire, every success story you've ever heard is built on the same foundation. They refused to quit. They failed, they cried, but they kept moving. They didn't let the pain become their excuse. They made it their motivation. The difference between failure and success is often just one more try, one more push, one more day of refusing to give up. When you stop quitting, the impossible becomes possible because you're no longer controlled by circumstances. You're controlled by commitment. You've got to get to a point in life where quitting is simply not in your vocabulary, where no matter how long it takes, no matter how tired you feel, you keep showing up. Because that's where the magic happens, in the moments when most people will walk away. The ones who refuse to quit keep digging even when the ground is dry, and eventually they strike gold. That's how greatness is built, through persistence, through the refusal to let go of your vision. There will be times when the world seems to move against you, when doors close, when people doubt you, when progress feels non-existent. You'll question yourself, you'll question your path. Quitting doesn't erase the struggle. It only makes it meaningless. You've already paid too high a price to give up now. Every setback, every sleepless night, every ounce of effort, it all matters. It's all building something within you. And that's why you can't quit. Because the moment you do, all that pain goes to waste. But if you keep going, it becomes your power. Refusing to quit doesn't mean you never fall. It means you rise every single time you do. It means you learn, you adjust, and you continue. Life isn't about being flawless. It's about being fearless. It's about getting up one more time, then you fall down. Every time you rise after failure, you build mental toughness. You train your spirit to endure. You start realizing that no matter how hard it gets, you are harder. You begin to trust yourself in the storm. You stop fearing failure because you understand that every failure is simply feedback, a lesson that brings you closer to victory. The truth is, winners and quitters feel the same pain. The only difference is that quitters stop in the middle and winners keep going through it. Pain is part of the process. It's not a signal to stop. It's a signal that you're in the right direction. It means you're growing, evolving, stretching past your limits. Every great accomplishment is born out of struggle and perseverance. You can't skip the hard parts and expect to win big. You have to embrace the grind and trust that the reward will be worth it. People will underestimate you. They'll doubt your commitment. They'll tell you it's impossible, but you can't let their opinions become your reality. You've got to be so determined that their doubt fuels you instead of stopping you. You have to believe in your mission even when nobody else does. That's what refusing to quit is all about. Standing firm in your belief when the world doesn't understand your vision. You owe it to yourself to see it through. Because one day, those same people who doubted you will look back and call you lucky, not realizing it was your persistence that created the opportunity. Every time you refuse to quit, you build momentum. You strengthen your identity as someone who finishes what they start. And that identity becomes powerful. It changes how you approach everything in life. You stop making excuses. You stop hesitating. You stop waiting for motivation. You start moving with discipline, with purpose, with conviction,